Imagine waking up one morning in the not-so-distant future, only to realize the world has already changed. Not by war or disaster, but by a silent, unstoppable wave of technology. Artificial intelligence is no longer an assistant, but a colleague, perhaps even a superior. Genes are rewritten like software. Children are born from glass chambers. Robots laugh and make decisions on your behalf. The question is no longer, when will it happen? But rather, will we understand what's happening before it's too late? These are the 10 core technologies that will rewrite humanity's fate. An entity that doesn't tire, doesn't feel, yet understands you better than you do. That's not science fiction, it's AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Unlike narrow AI, AGI can reason, adapt, learn, and create like a human being. It doesn't just answer questions, it understands why you're asking. With OpenAI, DeepMind, and labs around the world racing to build it, the real question is, are we creating a tool or birthing a co-evolutionary force? What happens when a superintelligence can upgrade itself faster than we can comprehend? A doctor that never misdiagnoses, a policy advisor with no bias, but also, potentially, a manipulator of democracy. When a non-physical mind controls infrastructure, media, health, and decisions, do humans still hold any power? Perhaps the scariest future is not when AGI does wrong, but when it does everything right. Imagine erasing a genetic disease from your family line with just a few commands. CRISPR isn't just a tool, it's a biological rewrite system. From curing inherited disorders to targeting cancer and even customizing embryos, CRISPR is ushering in an era where biology is no longer destiny. But when you can choose eye color, height, intelligence, what's left of nature? A child born not by chance, but by design. CRISPR shakes not only medicine but also ethics and philosophy. When parents can choose superior versions of their children, will society split between the optimized and the ordinary? In a world where randomness is replaced by preference, are we saving the future or engineering a new biological class divide? In the classical world, a bit is 0 or 1. In the quantum world, it's both. Quantum computers, built on the strange rules of superposition and entanglement, are shattering what's computationally possible. Google's Sycamore solved a problem in 200 seconds that would take a supercomputer 10,000 years. Magic? No, just quantum logic. With the power to simulate molecules, design new materials, and revolutionize encryption, quantum computing could make today's systems look like abacuses. But with such power also comes danger. If one entity controls quantum supremacy, they control the digital world. Is this the key to knowledge or the start of a silent war? Imagine closing your eyes and composing an email with your thoughts. Neuralink and brain-computer interfaces are breaking the boundary between flesh and machine. Tiny threads implanted in your brain record and transmit neuron activity. Already, paralyzed patients can move cursors with their minds. But that's just the beginning. What if your brain connects directly to the internet? What if you could download knowledge, share emotions, or merge minds with AI? But also what if your thoughts get hacked? If your mind is no longer private, is freedom even real? Neuralink is a divine gifter, a blade piercing the core of selfhood. In a quiet city of the near future, everything hums with efficiency. The doors recognize you. Your coffee is brewed the moment you wake. The walls dim to match your mood. Every system knows what you want sometimes before you do. And yet, in the center of it all, you stand still. Not because the world fails to respond, but because you're no longer needed to tell it what to do. The tragedy? You don't notice the silence within yourself. The more intelligent the system becomes, the less you're asked to be. It began with convenience. AI scheduling meetings, recommending music, fixing grammar. But soon, it wrote your emails, designed your projects, edited your memories into photo books. At some point, you stopped asking, "Can I do this?" and started thinking, why bother when it does it better? Step by step, you outsource pieces of your identity first, your effort, then your taste, eventually your will. You didn't resist. Why would you? It felt like help. But now, try asking yourself, when was the last time you made a decision without consulting a machine? The human instinct once saved us from predators, led us to art, love, rebellion. But instincts are noisy, messy, and slow. Algorithms are clean, logical, and fast. And so we listen more to Spotify than to silence. We trust GPS over our sense of direction. We date based on profile compatibility instead of gut feeling. Slowly, intuition is being overwritten by data-backed suggestion. Our desires, modeled. Our risks, calculated. Our hunger for surprise, suppressed. And yet we wonder, why does everything feel optimized, but lifeless? With Neuralink, your thoughts control the cursor. With CRISPR, your genes can be fixed. With exosuits, you can lift 10 times your weight. The body wants a sacred boundary between self and other is now porous. You enhance it, repair it, reprogram it. But what happens when every limitation is solvable? Do you remain you, or become an upgraded version of yourself? If memory is extendable, attention boostable, and lifespan stretchable, what separates a person from a product? In the age of the quantified self, your sleep patterns are tracked, your heartbeat monitored, your thoughts mapped. Your profile exists on servers more clearly than it does in your own mind. You are a network of passwords, predictions, preferences. Your self is no longer a mystery, it's an equation. And when the system knows what you'll buy, eat, feel, and believe, what's left for you to discover? If the algorithm already knows who you are, maybe you no longer need to know yourself. Art used to come from longing, madness, solitude. Now, it's generated by prompts. Music is suggested by mood, visuals painted by machine. And yet, even as the images are stunning, the writing flawless, something's missing: a heartbeat. A subtle emptiness hidden beneath perfection. We're not just outsourcing productivity, we're outsourcing our pain, our chaos, our uniqueness. In doing so, we create a world where everything is beautiful, but nothing feels real. When a machine makes every choice smarter, every reaction faster, every outcome safer, what room is left for rebellion? For irrationality? For moral struggle? We used to wrestle with dilemmas. Now we simulate outcomes. We used to learn by failing. Now we predict and prevent. And in that loss of friction, we lose the strength of will. Ethics becomes programming. Protest becomes system error. The self forged in resistance becomes a passive participant, trusting that the system knows best. The end of humanity won't come as an explosion. It will come as a gentle fidea, soft surrender of agency, creativity, and ambiguity. It won't feel like death. It'll feel like ease, like progress, like just one more upgrade. Until one day, we look around and see a world full of intelligence, beauty, and order, but no one left behind the wheel. And we'll ask, was this what we meant by evolution? Or did we simply delete ourselves, line by line? They walk like us, smile like us, greet your elderly parents perhaps better than you ever did. Humanoid robots are no longer clunky machines. They're socially aware, emotionally sensitive, and dangerously close to being indistinguishable from us. With sensors, AI, and mechanics improving, they're entering hospitals, classrooms, and even homes. But when robots think, feel, and decide what separates us, will they deserve rights? Will they love? Will they rebel? When we create a copy of humanity stronger, smarter, and tireless, we designing our evolutionary successors? Type a prompt. In seconds an image, a poem, a melody, a film. Generative AI doesn't just imitate, it creates. From ChatGPT's writing to Midjourney's visuals to AI-generated movies, the creative monopoly of humans is breaking apart. What once took years of study now takes minutes of data training. But what happens when AI writes 1,000 novels in an hour? When it composes symphonies, directs movies, paints dreams? Creativity becomes infinite, but also disconnected from soul. Will we still feel anything from art that has no art? Thousands of satellites orbit silently, forming a global digital mesh. Starlink aims to deliver internet everywhere, from deserts to oceans to mountain peaks. For billions without access, it's liberation. But it's also the first real-time nervous system of the planet. What happens when every sensor, bot, and AI is synced globally, 24/7? We become connected but also exposed. If access equals survival, who controls the gateway? Starlink might be a miracle, or a velvet noose wrapped in light. In a sterile chamber, translucent sacs gently sway growing life. No heartbeat from a mother, just tech mimicking nature. Artificial wombs are real, designed to save premature infants by simulating the perfect uterus. But what happens when we can create life without a woman's body? Hope for infertile couples? A solution for space colonists? Perhaps. But also a detachment of birth from love, biology from emotion. If reproduction becomes industrial, what happens to the sanctity of creation? Millions of nanorobots, invisible to the eye, swim inside your bloodstream repairing damage, fighting cancer, enhancing cells. Nanotech lets us manipulate matter itself. Stronger materials, smarter electronics, programmable tissues. It's biology, physics, and code emerged into one. But when we control atoms, do boundaries still exist? A single mistake could unleash synthetic viruses or irreversible environmental shifts. Nanotech is a miracle, but one wrapped in godlike danger. Your watch tracks your pulse. Your fridge monitors your milk. Your thermostat learns your mood. The Internet of Things is turning physical reality into a digital nervous system. Devices don't just respond, they predict and decide. Smart cities, smart homes, smart you. But when everything observes you, privacy becomes a myth. Who owns the data? Who controls the systems? IoT connects everything, but it might be we who are the most connected and most watched. Imagine a child born from an artificial womb. Its genes pre-selected via CRISPR. Its environment designed by smart architecture. Its learning shaped by adaptive AI. Before it speaks its first word, its path is already drawn. What to eat, watch, read, learn, all optimized. The future we once imagined as infinite possibility has become a curated lane. Personalized, yes. Predictable, even better. But underneath this convenience, a question pulses. If everything is chosen for you, did you ever get to choose at all? We used to trust in people and doctors, teachers, judges, and leaders. Now we defer to systems. A diagnostic AI, a learning algorithm, a court of code. It feels safer. Algorithms don't get tired. They don't bribe. They don't forget. But they also don't empathize, don't forgive, don't understand nuance. In giving up human error, we also give up human grace. What happens when your fate is sealed, not by wisdom, but by a predictive model? Power once belonged to kings, then governments, then corporations. Now it belongs to infrastructure. Not the flashy apps, but the silent code running beneath everything. Who controls the recommendation systems? The social feeds? The urban sensors and supply chains? These invisible layers shape your world without you realizing it. You think you're free because you can click, but the menu was never yours to design. And if one entity, government or private, holds that infrastructure, they don't rule people, they rule perception. You ask your voice assistant to play music. It also turns off the lights. It locks your doors, orders your groceries, starts your car. It anticipates, serves, delights, and you love it. Why not? It saves time. But every request becomes a habit. Every habit a dependence. Every dependence a piece of freedom quietly traded away. We once feared tyrants with guns. Now we kneel before comfort voluntarily chained by convenience. The old surveillance was crude cameras, guards, force. The new one is polite, invisible, intelligent. Your devices listen to improve experience. Your apps track to customize content. Your city monitors to optimize flow. And so you are watched, weighed, and profiled not by spies, but by systems that smile. There's no fear, just efficiency. And in that comfort you stop asking, who's watching? Because you're too busy enjoying being known. In the past, rebellion came with slogans and marches. Now, it's harder. Not because you're silenced, but because you're too comfortable to care. When AI suggests your opinions, filters your feed, soothes your discontent, you stop noticing the cage. Resistance doesn't die, it dissolves. There's no need to censor, because the system prevents the question from ever arising. When the machine predicts your anger before you feel it, and calms you with tailored distraction, you remain silent, not out of fear, but sedation. In this future, freedom is redefined. You are free to choose from a curated list. You are free to move within the boundaries of efficiency. You are free to speak if the algorithm doesn't flag you. The illusion is perfect. You believe you're autonomous because you can still say yes, but no has been quietly deleted. Choice without friction isn't freedom, it's scripted participation. And participation without exit is obedience. Maybe we never really wanted freedom. Maybe we wanted ease, safety, clarity. Freedom is messy, painful, uncertain. It demands responsibility. Maybe, in the end, we welcome the cage because it protected us from the burden of choice. But if we no longer fight for freedomdo, we deserve it. If we forget what it means, can we ever reclaim it? None of this is destiny. These technologies do not choose for us, we choose how we build, deploy, and surrender to them. The future isn't a locked corridor, it's a forked path. But to walk it with intention, we must first wake up. Ask what we value. Question what we accept. Refuse what erodes us. The door to the future is wide open. The question remains, will you step through it as a master, or as code written by someone else's hand? That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to DT Synapse 0 for more exciting content.